We're diving deep into all the qualities that make your body unique. Beauty care, health and wellness, everything you want to know about being your best, most radiant self.
Decades of industry experience, passionate about empowering holistic health and inner beauty, mother and daughter working together to transform the world of beauty, self-care, and well-being. I'm Beata.
I'm Tash. This is the Skincare Podcast by BSC. If you've never tried Vivier products, you're seriously missing out. We've known the Vivier family for many years, and they're actually members of our community. They are proudly Canadian and made in Quebec. Their knowledge and their expertise are beyond, and their products are phenomenal. They give back in so many ways to the community, and we couldn't be more proud to align with a professional brand that contributes to making a difference. We love all Vivier products, but we do have to give a special mention to their vitamin C serums. They are like no other serum on the market, and they cater to so many different skin concerns. Their patented vitamin C delivers results like no other. If you're dying to try the Vivier products, you can shop the product line now on our website with the code skincare-v15. That's SKNKRE-V15 for 15% off your first time order. Welcome back to the Skincare Podcast by BSC. Today, we're so excited because we're going to be speaking with Mike Vivier from Vivier Pharma. As you guys may know, we've spoken to him so many times in the past because he's so educated and well-knowledged about everything skincare and especially vitamin C's. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you very much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, we're really, really excited and looking forward to this. Every time that we speak with you, I speak on my behalf, but I learn so much about ingredients and products. And honestly, it just makes me fall in love with Vivier every single time.
Yeah, it's one of our favorite brands. You know, Mike, we also have like a relationship because we live in this similar community, like we're all around each other. So we've kind of been following your journey along the way. And, you know, we're really, really proud to be working together with you. And you've been one of the best partners that we could ever even ask for. So it's just such a pleasure to be able to talk to you today and to be able to share your expertise, your knowledge, your brand with our audience. So
I appreciate it. And, one of the most amazing things is that I've had the pleasure of learning over 22, it's heading into 23 years, believe it or not. So, we work with, as you know, many physicians, different types of physicians, dermatologists, plastic surgeons, general practitioners, but I've learned so much over the years. And so this is such a great platform to be able to share some of, the things that I've had a chance to learn from the best in the industry over 23 years.
Yeah, exactly. So can you just give us a little bit of story around Vivier? Like tell us a little bit about your company. And I know it's a family-owned business, and
dive a little deeper into it.
Share.
Yeah. So it's hard to believe that in January, it'll be 23 years. But 23 years ago, we wanted to dive into creating medical grade skincare products, aesthetic products that would actually deliver transformative results. So our tagline at Vivier is the beauty of results. And how we got started was my mom at the time was using a lot of products, and there was a lot of sort of puff marketing, a lot of promises, and there wasn't really anything that was being created to not only give a beautiful skin, but also a healthy skin and to be able to transform the skin at a cellular level. So that became our mission, was to empower everyone to look and feel their best. And our vision has always been to create the world's best skincare products through ingenious science, technology, and innovation to deliver the beauty of results. So that's kind of what the fuel was, and the catalyst was to really start making the best products. And it took us 3 years, believe it or not. So it was actually from 1997 till 2000 to develop our first vitamin C products. So there was 3 years of research and development and a lot of hard work and trial and error until we were able to get it right and launch in 2000.
Yeah, wonderful. That's amazing.
That's wonderful. Well, you certainly have expanded your vitamin C journey. I mean, I think you guys have like 8 or 9 vitamin C serums. So that's just incredible. You know, there's nobody in the industry that that manages and highlights vitamin C the way Vivier does. That's for sure. So talking about vitamin C, let's get a little bit more into the details of vitamin C and why it's so important in a skincare routine. Like it's a hot thing, and it has been for a while, right? So
Yes.
why is vitamin C necessary? Like what does it do for the skin and why?
That's a really great question. I get asked this often. And if you look at when we first got started, we realized really that there are three tried and true tested products that are the best for everyone as a starting point. And that's vitamin C, retinols. Retinols are vitamin A, and also sunscreens. So if you were going to start with three ingredients or three sort of products that have been around forever that have really known effects and benefits to not only our skin but also in our diet, we have vitamin C, vitamin A, your retinols, and a sunscreen. So we thought the best place to start would be vitamin C. And what we realized is that vitamin C plays the most, it's the biggest sort of and most effective cofactor in the production of collagen. Collagen is the most abundant protein in our skin. Collagen and elastin are what give our strength to our skin and also give that beautiful volume to our skin. And we started to realize as we're aging, we get to the age of around 25 and heading into 30, we start to lose about 1% of our collagen every year. So if we have a loss of collagen when we're losing volume, we start to have wrinkles. We start to have sagging skin. We don't have a supple skin. It's not as healthy. And then it becomes more susceptible to things like sun damage, the rays, smoke, pollution. And then also our cells create a certain amount of waste every day, which is called free radicals. And these free radicals cause a certain amount of damage. So what we found is that vitamin C is perfect for all these things. Not only does it boost collagen, it evens your skin tone, and that means that you get less sort of brown spots. It helps to give some UVR protection from the ultraviolet rays. So outside of wearing sunscreens, there's always a certain amount of radiation that we're getting from the rays of the sun, and vitamin C helps to protect against that. And vitamin C is what we call, has an anti-tyrosinase inhibition sort of factor. That's a really big way of saying that, sun comes in, affects our skin. We have certain enzymes. These enzymes are what cause our brown spots, and vitamin C helps to go in and helps to neutralize that effect so that we don't get an uneven skin tone, and we have beautiful looking, healthy skin. So vitamin C plays such a whole, amazing role also in keeping hydration in the skin, helping to prevent what we call transepidermal water loss. So we don't want, to lose hydration. We want to have a beautiful, healthy, hydrated skin. So vitamin C does so many wonderful things. But the challenge with vitamin C is to get it to be stable and to get it to be delivered into the skin. We have several layers of the epidermis, and we need to really get vitamin C down into the dermis, and that's our factory where the collagen is. So that's where we came up with our technology and sort of our approach to making sure that our vitamin C was stable and you were getting the maximum dose and it was able to penetrate into the skin to get the best effect.
Okay,
amazing. That's so interesting. So basically vitamin C is really just does everything that's going to prevent and also treat the skin as it ages. So it's like multidimensional in the approach, right? And it's also anti-inflammatory, right? So it's really good in keeping the inflammation down, which is very important for maintaining a youthful appearance to the skin, right? Without premature aging and all these secondary effects that happen when we have inflammation.
100%. Yeah. So inflammation is, they call it inflammaging. So inflammaging is a big new term, which is really interesting, is that inflammation in the skin can be caused by, diet, can be caused by certain things like certain alcohols, obviously the sun, certain amount of rays. So we get inflammation. Yeah, exactly. Stress, all these hormones. So these can be all triggers to create inflammation or microinflammation in the skin. If we're getting a lot of procedures as well, procedures are wonderful and they have such a great effect. But one of the outcomes of procedures is also inflammation in the skin. So vitamin C is so great at rehealing the skin, making sure that it's healthy and reducing that inflammation. And by significantly reducing inflammation, the inflammation in the skin, we're able to have our healthiest skin.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it's amazing. So everyone needs to use vitamin C, sorry,
in their skincare
skincare routine.
I mean,
I'm struggling.
We always talk about, 4 essential steps in a skincare routine. The first one is your cleanser. The second one is your targeted treatment, your moisturizer and your SPF. Like those are great 4-step fundamentals that you need. And we always recommend vitamin C. And what I love so much about Vivier is that you have a vitamin C catering to every age, skin type, concern. So you really can go and target if you have hyperpigmentation. You've got, if you want to work on, whatever it may be, just brightening the complexion and stuff, you've got something that works for each one of those concerns. But what I would love to know is you touched a little bit about it. And I just would love to know what differentiates your vitamin C from others in the market. I know you specialize in it so much.
Yeah. So the really big thing that I love talking about is that not all vitamin C's are created equal. So when we talk about vitamin C, there's many different chemical forms. And really what we're using is called L-ascorbic acid. And L-ascorbic acid is its purest form of vitamin C that's 100% bioavailable to the body, meaning that when we apply it, our skin can utilize it right away. Many brands on the market use what are called ester forms of vitamin C. Ester forms of vitamin C are still very good, but they're only about 20 to 30% bioavailable to the skin because the skin has to convert them and break them down and convert it to L-ascorbic acid before it can be used. The reason why a lot of companies use that is because it's much easier to stabilize, much easier to keep stable. It's less expensive. And, they tout it as being sort of slow release and it's going to release over time, which is very fancy marketing words in a sense that it takes time for the body to convert it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it is slow release.
It's not a time released.
Correct. It just means the body time to absorb it, which then, very clever. Some companies have sort of said that it's slower release and it's a little bit more stable. So that was our first thing is that we used that perfect form of vitamin C. And then ours is also called USP, which is United States Pharmacopoeia, which is the pharma grade, which means that it's basically 99.9% pure, which means that you're getting the consistent purity and the consistent dose between all of our products. And I'm very proud that we are the only company that I'm seeing that actually has it in their ingredient list that says L-ascorbic acid USP. There's a few other brands out there that sometimes claim it on the front of the packaging, but when you actually turn and look at the ingredient list, it's different. So it's really important. I always urge everyone to really read the packaging, but more important than the packaging is to go look at the list of ingredients, because the list of ingredients is what is approved by Health Canada or FDA and really is what's in the product. Yeah. So market-wise on a website, on the packaging, a lot of companies sort of, indicate one thing, but then when you turn and look at the actual individual ingredients, it can be another. So it's really, really important to know and understand what form of vitamin C it is that you're buying, because it's really important to make sure that you're getting the best form.
Yeah, I think that's really important part to tell people is to also look at the ingredient list, because you really want to know what you're putting on your skin, and you don't want to just be, led in a different direction just because the marketing is saying one thing, versus what the ingredient list is.
Yeah. Marketing is so powerful today. It's just, you need to ask questions about things. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. And so then the next part is really stability, right? So vitamin C likes to oxidize. It doesn't like air. It doesn't like light. It doesn't like heat. So it's very important to try to stabilize vitamin C, because if it starts to oxidize, it turns really orange and brown. And when oxidized, it's not as effective. It doesn't have the same potency anymore. So there are a lot of serums and a lot of products out there that turn really yellow or into the browns, and they're not as effective. And so ours are very, very clear to even sometimes a light yellow, but they're certainly not in the oranges or the browns. And we have a whole stability system to be able to make sure that the vitamin C stays really stable. And the best part of that stability technology that we have, which is called the IDS, the intradermal system. And that IDS system is what carries the vitamin C down deep into the skin, is you get that maximum penetration of the vitamin C. Most of the vitamin C's on the market are in a water base, and water typically will sit on the surface of the skin. It won't allow it to penetrate. With our IDS system, we actually encapsulate our vitamin C, and we're using certain ingredients that will mimic your own natural lipids, the fats in your skin, to get it to be able to penetrate in there. So it's a really cool technology. That's what took us 3 years to develop. It's quite expensive to make because there's a lot of different processes and it's very complicated. We're not just adding a bunch of things into a vat, mixing them up. There's a lot of heating and cooling stages, and there's a lot of really neat techniques to be able to get that vitamin C suspended in our formulation, which is truly unique to us. There's no other vitamin C in the world that is formulated like our vitamin C.
I think that's so important because, like, I think that's the main, like, one of the main differentiating points between like professional skincare brands is the ingredients that are put in the products and the processing,
the quality,
and everything that you guys go through to make sure that the ingredients put in this bottle it's going to work properly. Like, you're actually going to deliver the results that says that it's going to do on the bottle. I think that's so important. And that really is like such a key.
It's the differentiating point. It is a big differentiator because vitamin C, let's face it, I mean, it is a marketing
it's like a massive
ingredient,
trend, right?
And everybody knows that they should have it in their skincare routine. And but not a lot, like you said, there's so many different components on creating a product that is working, and that, I can attest though, because I've been using Vivier vitamin C's for years. Right now I'm using the Quinty serum. I absolutely love it. And
my favorite.
Pardon?
My favorite. It's been a game changer. Yeah. I was taking some photos actually up in Mont Tremblant. My wife and I have been obviously using serums for a while, but we switched over to Quinty when we launched Quinta serum, and it was amazing because I was looking at our photos, and now most everyone edits their photos, puts a filter on or whatever, and I was like, hashtag no filter needed, because our skin
glowing skin, right? I saw that, Mike. And you're right.
Skin,
sorry.
You don't need to add or edit your skin. You're just it's great.
Beautiful selfies all these years later, right? So, yeah. But I also do appreciate the fact that your vitamin C's, I mean, I've used multiple vitamin C's from you, the Radiance, the CE peptides, now the Quinty serum. I've also used the serum 10 and 20. I know one of them has recently been discontinued, but never once did they change color. Like, it never.
They're very clear and very stable. And I think one of the coolest things about our product, as well, is there's many different products in the market, and I often hear that they don't smell very nice. And I've tried many of them, and they're not the most pleasant to use. They can be a little bit oily or greasy. So ours, penetrates into the skin really quickly. We actually used like an apple crunch extract and some grapefruit extract in there, which gives it a nice, fresh citrus smell. But those are added antioxidants, so there's added benefit to those ingredients as well in there. So it's really nice to use every day. A little goes a long way. It penetrates right into the skin. It's not greasy, oily. It smells really, really nice. So we're really, we try to really make our products very nice in terms of how they apply and how you're able to use them every day.
Yeah, well, you can definitely see that you guys put in the work to get those results in your products.
I mean, who else has like 8 or 9 different vitamin C serums that just doesn't exist on the market? So, and what I like so much about that is that, like I said before, you can really target whatever the concern is for the customer. We can target based on the different vitamin C options that you have. And for anybody that's wondering about that, we're not going to get into the details of which vitamin C does what, but I can tell you that there's vitamin C, but they're also loaded like with peptides and hyaluronic acid, some of them. And it's all available on Boutique Skin Envy. We can walk you through it and really help you to find the right vitamin C that is for you. So can you talk a little bit, Mike, about what the main benefits of using vitamin C daily are? Like, should you be using it once a day? Should you be using it twice a day? Like, tell us how to use your serums.
Yeah, so typically in a 24-hour period of time, we were able to measure that there's about 4.5, almost 5% of the initial dose of vitamin C left in the skin. So it's always a good idea every sort of 12 hours to apply your serum so that we're always getting a maximized dose of vitamin C. So I typically apply my serum in the morning and a serum at night. I like to alternate all of the different serums because they're all amazing. And to your point, they all do different sort of things. Mm-hmm. So I alternate between the Granzine serum, now the Quinti serum. I still love my CE peptides. So I alternate a little bit my serum routine because they all sort of do a little bit of a different, thing. So as you mentioned, some have peptides, some have polyamines. Quinti now has a higher concentration of vitamin C. So
and also vitamin E with the Quinti serum, which I can feel. I love that.
Yeah, with the vitamin E as well. And so, it's typically heading into the winter months where it's a bit drier inside. That added vitamin E is really nice. Beautiful. As we're in the summer, I was gravitating a little bit more towards CE peptides. And now in the fall, I've been using Quinti, loving Quinti. Probably in the spring, I'll switch over to Granzine as well. So it's fun to mix up your serums. You don't necessarily have to be on the same one at the same time. And if one can afford it, I mean, it's really cool to be able to use like CE peptides in the morning and Granzine serum at night, or Granzine serum in the morning and Quinti at night. So it's really, I look at it as an amazing investment in your skin. If you look at a bottle, I mean, it typically lasts 3 months. So if you actually look at what you're getting, and for the price of basically a coffee every day, we're able to have an amazing product that really works and gives results. A vitamin C is just a must, and a vitamin C, a retinol, and a sunscreen are the 3 must-haves. If you're not using any one of those, then I sort of say that you're kind of, the doctors will say that you're not in the game, the skincare game, if you're not using a vitamin C, a retinol, a sunscreen. Mm-hmm. The rest of everything is nice to layer in, but really that's the basics.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so what can you expect when you're using a vitamin C? What kind of things will people notice with their skin? Like what are the changes that will take place? And
beautiful changes is that immediate glow, right? So vitamin C gives you that healthy glow. As you have healthy skin coming up, we're able to get, new healthy cells coming to the surface. Vitamin C gives you that luminosity. And really the trick to aging, or anti-aging, I should say, is if you look at light and the way that light hits our skin and our face, it's all about perception, right? So when we're young and we have very full volume, it reflects the light in a very beautiful way. Unfortunately, as we age and we lose collagen and volume, or you have a very dull skin, it does not reflect light, and that gives the image of an aging skin. And then we start to get wrinkles, which again, the light, doesn't hit in a wrinkle very nicely, if you will, or effectively. So that's what sort of aging is. So really the secret to aging is volume. Fillers, your neuromodulators, vitamin C giving tons of volume so that we reflect the light. I mean, if you look at makeup is nothing more than reflecting and refracting light. We see red makeup because it's reflecting or refracting red, the red forms of light, right? Mm-hmm. Same with an or anything else. It's all in how the light is hitting all of the different objects around us. So I just think that glowing skin is the best, free from wrinkles. We'll start to see an evening of your skin tone. So sometimes there's a lot of sun damage that we can see on the surface. There's a lot of sun damage under the skin that we can't see. So that starts to lighten all that and break all that pigment up, which is really important so that it doesn't ever make its way to the surface in the form of discoloration, brown spots, those types of things. So overall, less wrinkles, luminosity, less brown spots, a more even skin tone, that glowing skin, radiant skin, a healthy skin, a more hydrated skin, a more tolerable skin to things like,
my God,
again,
all of the
get on your vitamin C.
Skiing. It's really helping to keep our skin at its healthiest, so that the new skin cells that are coming up continuously are their best. And if you can do that as well, that's really what keeps the skin really healthy and more receptive to all the other treatments and the other ingredients that we're going to be adding after. So it really is one of the best ingredients. It's been around for thousands of years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when the explorers were coming over to Europe, they knew that if they were getting vitamin C, they would, it would prevent scurvy. Our gums are predominantly collagen. So, I mean, without getting into all the science and getting into it, it's been well known and it's a well-studied ingredient that just adds so much to your health. I take an oral vitamin C every day. I have since I was probably 13. I mean, the thought of going a day without taking vitamin C orally or putting vitamin C on my skin, I mean, I just couldn't imagine a world without vitamin C.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it becomes like a part of your routine.
I agree. Yeah. So that's so exciting because it just gives the reassurance for people to know that when they're using a Vivier vitamin C, that it's really going to deliver active ingredients and profound results that they're looking for their skin in a short term, but also in a long-term basis, because we always have to think like when you're 25, you look great, right? But when you're getting into your 40s, 50s, 60s, like you want to continue to feel and look as best as you can and at every age and stage of your life, which is really important for, just keeping your skin healthy. After all, it is the largest organ. So we need to make sure that we're always taking care of it, right?
Yes.
So
it is. Yeah. If you look at our face, our neck to our face, right, it's the most exposed skin. I mean, typically we're wearing clothing, so the rest of our skin doesn't get the same amount of sunlight, doesn't get, the same amount of stress. So that skin, like you said, it's our largest organ in the body, but it is going through a lot of stress. There's a lot of, again, like we said, heat, cold, wind, hormones, inflammation,
everything,
smoke, smog, pollution. I mean, everything. We go in and outside, and the temperature changes and humidity changes. I mean, we put our skin through on a daily basis is really quite something. It's really important, just like having an incredibly balanced diet. Is to really have a holistic and a whole sort of skincare routine. That's really important to take care of our skin.
It is. We agree. Yes. We concur.
Yeah,
100%.
Absolutely.
So, did you want to go ahead, Tash?
No, that's okay.
Okay. So what is new in skincare, Mike?
Oh, so we just launched a few years ago, obviously, the Grenzine line of products with polyamines, which is really quite an innovative new ingredient that we found. It's natural in the body. The newest research that's come out is that what's really interesting, and you'll see that the Grenzine line is coming over into new packaging, new gold packaging, which is going to be all part of the line. We found that the silver colors were just a bit disjointed from the overall brand. So the other thing is that the descriptor is going to change a little bit to include growth factors. So the newest research shows that polyamines play a really essential role in your EGF and FGF, and EGF is your epidermal growth factors. And then we have what are called our fibroblast growth factors, and that's more down in the dermis. That's our factory. But our growth factors are really important because they're responsible for a lot of different cellular processes, and polyamines play a really big role in making your own natural growth factors really, really efficient. So that's really cool and exciting new research. There's also, stay tuned for next year to 2023. We're going to be launching a really neat, innovative product that is going to have a whole host of new ingredients, new technology as well coming. So we're excited. There's new advances in skincare technology. There's new ingredients coming. There's new science. So it's really an exciting time in skincare because up until recent years, there hasn't been any crazy new discoveries. Polyamines are definitely one, and we're still learning every day its role. We're still learning a little bit more about polyamines also potentially in hair and hair loss. I know as we're getting older, our hair starts to thin out a little bit as my wife's always brushing her hair and talking with everyone in the industry. Like, I brush my hair, and every time I brush it, there's tons of hair now. And so our hair thins out, whether we like it or not. As men, we typically have receding hairlines and hair starts to thin out. So that's been a big area in the aesthetic world, is robotic hair transplants, plantation and products, to just strengthen our overall hair. And we're finding that polyamines now can play a really nice part in that. So it's just exciting to see what's all this new science that's coming out, and we're always learning, which is exciting.
You guys are really innovative. Like, you always have new formulations and new products launching. I know you guys just launched the new retinol
0.5, right? So excited,
which is so fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's amazing. You guys are just, you're always like, you're always educating yourselves and therefore creating new products because you have all this new knowledge for ingredients and what's going to work. So I think that's really cool.
It's super cool. And you talk also so much about science, and that's what I love so much about professional skincare, is because that is what makes the difference. And I think so many people don't understand that when you're just buying any old product off of a shelf because you think that's the right thing for you,
or that says there's something in it,
marketing or whatever. But when you really go to the professional brands, it is about the science. It is about the clinicals. It is about the results. It's all so important. So yeah, thank you for sharing all of that with us.
Well, like the retinol, if I may for one sec, the retinols are really interesting. I mean, what's so innovative about the retinols, and you're right, Tash, we just launched the 0.5. Retinols, there's different forms of retinol. So we're using pure retinol, but the thing is that retinols can be a bit drying. They can be a bit irritating. They can cause inflammation, sometimes some redness. So what we did, which is really innovative, is there's a new technology called polypore technology. And polypore technology, basically, you take the retinol and you put it into the polypore. They call it as impregnating the polypore technology with it, and it acts as a slow release over time, which is really nice. So it's very gentle yet highly effective. And so, as you can imagine, to create that technology and to do that whole manufacturing process of putting the two together, it's very, very expensive. So we're not just buying retinol and throwing it again into a cream like most on the market. There's an actual technology, and there's extra added steps. There's extra added things that need to happen, and that costs a lot of money and it takes a lot of time. So you're right. When you get into the professional brands, you're really getting, yes, you might be spending a bit more, but you're getting a lot more. Yeah, and you're getting a lot more.
Results are going to be better, like you're going to be getting the what's that expression, the bang for your buck. Like, you're not going to be spending $50 on a cream and have no results. Like, you're going to get those results.
Yeah. And that's key. And we talk about, and what I like, just to go back to your retinol, is that it sounds to me, from what you explained, that it's more tolerable for the skin, right? The way your technology works. So you spent that extra into making sure that people that are using your retinols are going to tolerate them better, so that they have a easier acclimation period when they get into them, right? Which is so important, because sometimes putting retinol in your skin, you can get, a lot of what they call retinol burns or irritation, some swelling and stuff. So that's exciting. But I just love the fact that you guys take it so seriously, and you're
not messing around.
You're not messing around with what you're doing. So that's really exciting.
Yeah, we really take our time. We do our research. We go to all the conventions around the world looking for the best ingredients, the best new technology. And then it becomes, how do you harness that technology? How do you utilize it? How do you put it into a formulation that's going to be nice? It's going to smell nice. It's going to feel nice. It's going to be very pleasant to use, and so that you get the full effectiveness from it, but you're not going to get the harsh sort of
The
sides
downside, right? The
of
downside,
that.
yeah. So your products for me are super like obvious and simple to use. It's not a lot of different steps. You've got your vitamin C's, you've got your retinols, you've got your hydrators, your SPFs, and your cleansers, and of course you have some extra products for targeting
Specific concerns.
yeah, like people that have acne or people that are very sensitive and so on. But what I love about it is it's simple, it's local, it's made in Canada, which is so wonderful. And you talked about price point before. We do so many virtual consultations, and also in our clinic at Skin LV Medi Spa, we see so many patients that come in and they're spending a fortune on their skin. Like they're really spending a lot of money on their skin, but they're not getting anywhere with their skin. So what I love about Vivier is that you can get into a Vivier routine that's very simple and easy to use. And it's also, I find personally, the Vivier brand, generally speaking, to be very affordable. If you break it down, like you said, per day, it's not that bad. And it's, people will save money in the long run by getting on a professional system that's going to give them the results that they're looking for. So bravo for that. That's really exciting for us to be.
And we've tried to we're not inexpensive, but we're also not wildly expensive. Our formulations are very expensive due to the ingredients, the technology that we're buying. And then everything, you're right, is manufactured here in Canada. So we're really proud about that. Our packaging is really high-end packaging.
And you've been elevating lately too, Mike. I've noticed that you've been relaunching in all of your products, and they really look nice. Really, really, really beautiful job.
Yeah. So you notice with the Vivier line that there's new packaging that will continuously come into 2023. Everything is made in a pharmaceutical facility. So pharmaceutical manufacturing is very, very expensive. So we don't cut any corners anywhere. They're very expensive products for us to make ourselves. By the time you buy the ingredients, the technology, you go, to the proper pharmaceutical manufacturing facility, and then we do all the testing on the products. Testing is very, very expensive, but that's our commitment to quality, and that's our commitment. That's why we've become such a trusted brand. We are the largest medical pharmaceutical brand in Canada. We're really excited that we had another incredible year this year, and that's because people love their Vivier in the market.
They see the results, like that's do.
Yeah, and they trust that when they're utilizing our products, that they're going to deliver on their promise, and that's exciting because, like I said, I see it so many times too in the market. People are spending a lot of money on different things that are not getting them to where they want to go, and that's why I'm excited that they go to somewhere like BSC. You guys do such a wonderful job at, taking the time to figure out what people need and then giving them amazing solutions that are going to give them the results. And you guys are taking them on that journey of where they need to go. And it's unfortunate that there's a lot of brands and a lot of, places that unfortunately don't do that. So I'm really, really excited to see your success and to see people getting results, because that's what our, all of our missions combined together is to where people are
results and healthy skin and feeling good in your skin. Like we want people to feel good in their skin. It's so important.
Yeah.
So Mike,
you touched on this before. I know I know what you're going to ask, and I know the answer is, what's your favorite skincare product at the moment? I think everybody knows.
My favorite right now is Quinty. Quinty took my skin to another level. I didn't think that it actually could get there, but it did. So Quinty, I love. Obviously, Hexam, you use in the shower pretty much every day. I use I've always used the 1% retinol, but I actually stepped down to the 0.5% because retinol at 1% is quite it's quite intense. So the nice thing is that we have a 0.3, a 0.5, and a 1%. So you can kind of go on a journey. I always recommend everyone to start with a 0.3, and then you always move up to a 0.5. Yeah, but it seems to be just perfect. And so for the fall, I'm using that, and then obviously sunscreen. So throughout the whole summer, I was really good while I was golfing and doing all those wonderful things when I'm outside with the kids, wearing a.
We love to hear it.
Good sunscreen. And what would be one of your like number one skincare tips for anybody? Like what should what's the best skincare tip that Mike can give people?
Yeah. So, a couple of things. Less is always more, especially with our products. You don't have to use a whole lot. The big thing is routine, right? So if we were to brush our teeth only once a week, it would really do nothing, even twice a week. It's the fact that we brush our teeth every day, that consistency is what gives you a result. So the one thing I see with a lot of people is they start something and then they stop it, or
Fall off
they
the
use
train.
it
Yeah.
days and they're sort of like, well, I'm not seeing results. And you got to remember that you're trying to, erase years and years and years of damage. It takes a good 30 to 40 days for one skin cycle. You got to give everything a chance, but it's the small accumulation of doing little things every day in your skincare routine that's going to make a big difference. The other thing I've learned is taking a holistic approach to skincare. So that's getting good sleep, drinking, a fair amount of water every day, which I now have my Yeti mug and I have, on brand Vivier mugs around with my water. I try to drink a couple liters of water a day. Again, try as hard as you possibly can to reduce the amount of wine intake and, alcohol, those types of things. So it's just
basically your routine, right?
Yeah,
it's the routine.
Well, diet is a big thing as well. So reducing the amount of sugars, which causes inflammation, those types of things. So again, it's not having them. It's just being more conscious that if you're going to invest a lot in your skincare, it's important to try to do all the other things you possibly can to not only have the best skin, but also just to be healthy in general.
I love that. Yeah. That's wonderful. And thank God that you guys also have all of your systems. So that helps people when they're looking to get on a Vivier routine. You can get into the system so that you really follow that routine and that your journey is very, precise. And remember, like you said, to give it the time that it needs, because sometimes people think like, I go on my new skincare routine and, it's 2 weeks later and how come I still have wrinkles? It doesn't work that way. So
the other thing too is like aging. I used to look at aging as such a negative thing, right? And I think we're, as I'm rounding out through 40, you start seeing changes in your. But at the same token, I've learned we need to be gentle with ourselves, and that getting older and aging is a privilege. It's a to be able to hopefully one day make it to 80 or 90. So
with beautiful glowing skin.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, is that we're able to do that and age gracefully, which is really amazing. My grandmothers both lived well into their 90s, and they looked like they were still in their 60s, in their 90s. So I think the big thing to take away too, and one of the best tips, is that as we're younger, we start on routines. Like I work with a lot of younger millennials now and do a lot of events, and I said it's really important to take care of your skin. You're not going to see a lot of change now because you're young and you have decent skin. But as you start getting into your 40s or 50s or 60s or 70s, and God willing, 80s and 90s, that's where we see a huge difference. And that's really where, a great skincare routine over all the years and everything really, really pays off.
It does.
But just like anything, diet, exercise, everything, it just makes those later years, so much easier. And you're stacking the odds in our favor of having the best possible life that we can.
Yeah, exactly. We totally agree.
Well, thank you very much, Mike. This has been such a pleasure for us, and we learned so much. Every time we speak with you, we learn, and we're just looking forward to sharing all of your knowledge with our audience, because I think that people will really benefit by understanding all of the great tips and tricks of Vivier, and really discovering the whole vitamin C component and integrating it
and how important it is to put it in your routine. Like you really need to get on it.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, thank you so much.
You guys touched on routine, and I think that's probably one of the best closing tips that I have, is that and that's where you guys are so amazing and you add so much value, is it's not just one sort of size, one product, one vitamin C fits all. So it's really important to get on a good kit or a system or a regime of products where we're, really preparing the skin, treating it, moisturizing it, protecting it. So that investment in sort of all the different areas and several products, to have a proper routine, a regime is really where you're going to get the best benefit. And a lot of the companies try to sell the one magic product, and there's like, it doesn't work that way. It's the same with us. We eat food from 4 different food groups. It's important to have a balance. It's the same with skincare. It's really important to have that balance. Have a good cleanser, good toner, utilize a good serum, a good moisturizer, active moisturizers, eye creams, sunscreens. Like these are all really.
You have it all.
Yes. Mike, it's been such a pleasure. Thank you so, so, so much. We're already looking forward to the next time that we're going to speak with you.
Yeah.
Like, what are we going to touch on next time?
Maybe we'll talk about retinol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'd be
retinol's I think it's a great one. I think we could do a whole seminar on retinols. I mean, I've learned so much about them, and we could talk for an hour just on the importance of retinol. But I'm glad we were able to cover vitamin C. Vitamin C is where everyone should start. The second would be retinol, and like I said, third would be sunscreen. So that could
there
be.
We go. Those are our next 2 podcasts.
There
we go. Retinols and sunscreens with Vivier.
And we'll talk screens.
Thank you so much.
Mike.
It was so great to see you.
Thanks, guys. It was nice to see you as well.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Skincare Podcast. It would mean so much to us if you could subscribe to our podcast and rate and review. Follow our new journey on Instagram at Skincare Podcast to be the first to know when our episodes are dropping and more. This podcast is produced by Northweld Media. We look forward to seeing you next Wednesday.